Hello, my name is Soju, and today I have a tutorial for what I think is the perfect starter house. So this is the house right here. I built this with limited resources, so I think it's perfect for a starter house. This is how the front looks like. We have a tower on that side. Over here, we have a little pen. This was supposed to be for a horse, but I don't have any. And then this is how it looks like from the back. I'm gonna show you the inside because it is fully decorated. I think with such a little space, I managed to fit everything that you might need. So right when you enter, you have your little storage area right here. Off to the side, we have a furnace area, which is built into the tower that you just saw. We have a brewing area right here. And then over here in the kitchen is just some extra storage that I made. So this is where I have my crafting table, and I have another one over here. Then on this side, we have a little loft. I just keep my bed up here since you don't really need that big of a space for a bed. And then of course, I have a basement right here. And you can see here at the bottom, this is where I keep my enchantment table, and this is where I keep my hostage. This is the only mending guide that I have. And then over on this side, I just have a little bit more storage. So that being said, I'm gonna show you how I made it. For the blocks that you're gonna need, I used a lot of spruce just because it was really easy to get, especially if you have the 2x2 spruce trees that grow really tall. And I basically used every single variant. For the walls, I use white terracotta, and I just mined some clay from a lush cave that I found. Mainly for the roof, I use stone bricks, including the cracked stone bricks for the basement, and then just some stairs, walls, and slabs. And these are all just like more decoration blocks. So I used some barrels for some of the pillars, some Haybales for decoration that I sold from a village, some white stained glass for the windows, and just some lanterns, campfires, azalea leaves to decorate the outside, and then a tiny little bit of regular bricks that I also gathered some clay from the lush cave. And I'm gonna leave the full block list in the description if you want to check that out. And this is the layout for the build. So those 3 blocks at the bottom is the entrance, and then that bump on the side is where the tower is gonna be. Now I'm gonna start off by making some of the pillars. So right here in the entrance, I'm gonna place 2 logs right here, just so we leave a gap for the door. And then I'm gonna place 1 log on each corner, so each one of these corners can have a log. And then I'm also gonna make all of these corners have a log for the tower. So 1 right here. I'm basically leaving 1 block space from the pillar on the corner, and then each one of these corners can have a log just like this. And then this is how it looks like all together. Now I'm gonna bring these up all by 5. So the ones that we just placed is 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, and then connect those at the top just like this. For the entrance part, I'm gonna bring these up by 5 as well, and then connect that except the corner, so it just about reaches the log right here. And we can do that same thing on the other side, so 5 blocks tall, and then connect that just before the log. These are pretty simple. I'm just gonna bring those up by 5 and then connect those in the middle. Same with the one here at the back. Oops, 5 blocks tall, and then connect those. And then these as well, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then connect those on each side. So from the top, this is how it looks like. It's all connected. And then from the inside, this is how the tower looks like. It's just a 1 block space on each side, and this is the entrance, and then the back is pretty self-explanatory. So that's all done, and I think the last thing is to place 1 log right here just to leave a 1 block gap. So for the walls, I'm gonna fill out the front part first. We're gonna do like a donut shape, so I'm gonna leave a 2 block gap right in the middle just to create a little window just like this. Gonna do that same thing on this side since it's symmetrical, so just like this. This part we're gonna leave it blank. We're gonna do something later. Here on the left side, I'm gonna fill it in as normal first, and then we can do the windows. I think it's easier that way. So all the wall is just going to be filled in. And now that that's done, I'm gonna break these 2 blocks right in the middle just to create 1 window. Then I'm gonna leave a 1 block gap on each side and create another 2 windows just to have 3 windows like this. Here at the back, I'm also gonna fill it out first. I think that's an easier way of making the windows. So I'm gonna fill it out completely. And once we have that done, I'm gonna start here in the right. I'm gonna leave a 1 block gap from the wall. I'm gonna get rid of these 6 blocks right here. And again, this build is symmetrical, so I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So 1 block gap, and then right here. And there we go. We had 2 big windows like this. And now for this part where the tower is, we're gonna fill in this gap with some terracotta, just like this. And then on the other side as well, so just right here. And then for the tower itself, I'm gonna be using stone bricks. So the block and the stairs. I'm gonna place an upside down stair here on the top log, and then over here at the bottom, just a block. So I'm gonna do that with all of these, just like this. And there we go, that's the base for the tower all done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fill in all the windows with just some stained glass. I like to use white glass just because I feel like it looks better. You can use just regular glass panes, it's fine. I'm also gonna fill in this one right here just to create a little window. And then all of these, I'm just gonna fill them out. So from the inside, you can see I just filled out all the windows, all the ones over here as well. Now, before I make the roof, I'm just going to extend this part of the tower a little bit more. So all of these pillars are just gonna go 4 up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all of these right here. So it's basically all the pillars from the tower. I'm gonna build those up by 4 and then connect those at the top. So right here, just like we did before, but this time, instead of having a 4-block gap, we're gonna have a 3-block gap. And then to fill in this part of the tower, I'm gonna fill in this side with just some blocks like this. This one that's on the outside, I'm gonna make an upside down stair and then 2 stained glass just like this. And then the other side is gonna be the same as that one, so just filled in with some bricks. And since the roof is a little bit complicated, I'm gonna divide it by sections. So first I'm gonna do the trim for this left side. For the roof, I'm gonna be using some spruce, some stairs, and some slabs. And I'm starting off right here in the corner. I'm gonna make a top slab just up against this log right here, and then extend that by 1 block just to create an overhang. Then on top of this log, I'm just gonna place a temporary block just so we can place a stair right here. And then you can go ahead and get rid of that. Behind this stair, I'm gonna place a slab and then a stair on top. Behind the stair, we just place an upside down stair just like this. Then we can go ahead and place a block, then a stair, upside down stair, block, stair, just like this. So this is how one part of the layout looks like. I'm just gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. Top slab right here in the corner, temporary block, stair, slab, stair, upside down stair, block, stair, upside down stair, block, stair. And then you should have this gap right here in the middle. And I'll leave a guide right here in case it was a little bit confusing. So once you have all of this done, I'm gonna place a upside down stair right here in the middle, then place a block right on top, and then over on the other side, just like this, I'm gonna place a stair, and then an upside down stair right behind that one just to create a little curve like this. So that's the trim all done, and now I'm gonna do that same pattern over on this side. So again, I'm gonna create the little overhang that we have just like this, a temporary block and then a stair. This one's a little bit easier, so just a slab and then a stair, and it should go up right against the tower like this. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side just so it looks like the roof is actually built into the tower, so it should look like this on both sides. Here in the front, I'm just gonna connect these slabs right here until I reach this log right here, and we can do that same thing on the other side. And now I'm gonna create a little roof for this entrance part. So right in this corner log, I'm gonna place a temporary block just so we can place a stair like this. We can get rid of that one. Gonna do that same thing on the other side, so temporary block and then a stair. So you should have 2 stairs looking like this. Then an upside down stair on each side like this, and then only using slabs, 1 on top of the stair, 1 across, and then 1 on top. And then here at the back, you can go ahead and connect these 2 parts of the roof. So just like this. Then I'm gonna make the roof trim for the tower. So I'm gonna be using some stairs, and then right up against the top layer of logs right here, I'm gonna place 3 stairs just like this. A full block right here in the corner, another 3 stairs, full block, and then another 3 stairs, just like this. Now we have all the trims all done. I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in. So I'm gonna use stone bricks and stone brick stairs and also some slabs. So I'm gonna make this first layer. I'm just gonna grab some brick stairs and fill that all the way across until I reach the other end. So all the way over here. To blend this out, gonna get rid of this middle block. Place 2 slabs on top of these logs, so 1 right here and 1 right here. And then using some spruce slabs, I'm just gonna extend this middle one until I reach the rest of the stairs. This next layer is pretty easy. I'm just gonna grab some stairs and fill that in all the way across. And there we go, this is how it looks like for now. Now I can go ahead and grab some blocks, and I'm just following the same pattern right here. So this one's a block and then this one's a stair. We can go ahead and fill that all the way until I reach over here. And same thing with the stairs, just until it touches this log right here. Gonna do that same thing over here, so a block, then a stair, and then just extend that until I reach this log over here. We're gonna deal with this part of the tower later, just so we don't get confused. And then some stairs on top, and then 1 final block right here. So this is how it looks like so far. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So this one is a lot easier since we don't have that roof piece. So this layer is gonna be just stairs, stairs, then a block, stair on top, block, and stair on top. So I'm just gonna repeat that same pattern and extend it all the way like we did over here, and then also extend this little part here at the bottom. So these two layers here at the bottom will meet up with these two stairs over here, and then these layers here at the top will just extend until I reach this part of the tower. And there we go. That should be this part of the roof all filled in. So now to make this part of the tower, I'm gonna go in with some stone bricks first, and I'm just gonna make a layer on top of the logs that we see right here. So one layer of bricks right here. Then on each one of the corners, I'm gonna place a stair. So one right here, and then just repeat that on the other sides, just like this. Then behind those stairs, I'm gonna create a little like donut shape. So just all the way across, just like this. And it should look like this from the top. Now I'm gonna repeat that same layer again. So just another donut shape right here. And then in the 4 middle blocks, I'm gonna extend those by 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. And then right here at the top, I can go ahead and cover that up and then go up by 3. So 1, 2, 3. And it should look like this so far. Now I'm gonna add some details with some walls first. I'm gonna go ahead and place one right here at the very top. And then right here in the second top layer, I'm gonna place a wall in between each one of these pillars. So right here, just like this. And then to fix this area, because it's looking a little bit weird, I'm gonna replace this stair with a plank just to match the rest of the roof. Then I'm also gonna do that same thing on the other side, so this one can go. And then this top layer of the stairs, right here in the corner, I'm just gonna flip that up against the wall right here, just so it creates that corner stair. And that blends it out like a little bit more. So I'm gonna do that same thing on the other side and just corner that. And then to finish things off, I'm just gonna place 2 spruce fences right here at the top, just like this. And there we go. That should be the tower all done. So here at the very top, I'm just gonna place 3 slabs. So 1, 2, 3. And then the rest of it is gonna be just spruce trapdoors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spruce trapdoors, just like this. And then here at the front, I'm gonna add a little bit more detail. So here in the corner, on the second layer of this roof, so these stairs right here, I'm gonna leave 1 stair and then get rid of these 3 blocks right here. I am gonna place some temporary blocks right here in each corner, just so we can place 2 logs like this, just to create like 2 little pillars, and then you can go ahead and get rid of those. This bottom one right here is gonna be filled in with white terracotta. Then you can get rid of this one because we're gonna be placing a window right here. Now for this little part, I'm gonna create that same pattern I did right here. So in the corners, 2 stairs just like this. On the other side as well, just like this. Then upside down stair like this. Then only using slabs, 1 on top, 1 across, and then 1 on top. Then using spruce slabs, I'm just gonna connect that to the roof. We can go ahead and get rid of this one and then just replace it with a spruce slab. And then right here, I'm gonna place some stone brick slabs. So one right here and then another one right there. And finally, that is the roof all done. We do have some gaps, as you can see over there as well. I'm gonna deal with this side of the house first. So I'm gonna grab some logs and go right in the middle, right here. And then I'm just gonna extend that all the way on top, just like this. Now to make it a little bit easier, I'm just gonna fill all of this in with some white terracotta. So all of this area can just go ahead and be filled in. And then I'm gonna make some windows. So I'm gonna get rid of these 2 blocks right here, just to create some tiny little windows, and you can go ahead and fill that in with some glass, just like this. And then for the other side where we have those gaps, this one's pretty easy. We can just fill it in with some white terracotta. So that one and this one right here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and place some of the details. So first thing that I'm gonna do is replace the bottom logs of each one of the pillars with some barrels. These are very optional, just in case you're running low on the resources, but I think these elevate the build a lot more. So all of these pillars can just be barrels. So all of these can just be replaced. So all of those are replaced just like this. Now here in the front, I'm just gonna place a door. I'm gonna use spruce doors for this one. So just like this. And now to add some detail to the windows, I'm gonna grab some spruce fence gates and place that in front of this top glass right here, and then open that up, and then place a spruce trapdoor right on top, just like this. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. So an open fence gate and then a trapdoor. Then in front of the windows, I'm gonna create some planters. So I'm just gonna use grass for this. Place that right here in the front, and then surround that with some trapdoors. We can do that same thing on the other side. So dirt and trapdoors. Now for the entrance, I'm gonna grab some spruce fences and I'm just gonna place 2 in front of each one of these pillars. So just like this. I'm gonna place a trapdoor on top of the fences that we just placed, and then a slab right here in the middle. And for the planters, you can place whatever flower that you like. I just placed some that I had on hand at the time. And then this final step is a little tiny detail. I'm gonna place a slab right here in the corner just to blend that out a little bit more. You can leave it out if you like, but that bothers me a little bit, so it should look like this. Now for this side, I'm gonna make the horse pen that we had. I'm gonna go right here on the left side. So 1 block away from the pillar, I'm gonna place a fence right here at the bottom and then 2 fence gates just like this. Then in the corner, I'm gonna place a stone brick wall. Now here in the front, I'm gonna place 4 fence gates. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in the corner, another stone brick wall. It should match with the window right here. And then same thing we did on the other side, so 2 fence gates and then 1 fence here at the end. Now with some fences, I'm gonna build on top of these walls. So 1, 2, 3, just like this. Then another 3 on top of this one, so 1, 2, 3. And then we can go ahead and grab some fence gates and connect these all the way across. So just like this. And then also on the sides, just so it connects to the rest of the house. And then on the other side as well. So just like this. And then for the roof, I'm gonna be using some campfires, some trapdoors, and then some azaleas and flowering azaleas. There's no real order to this one. I just placed them as randomly as I could. So I'm just gonna place some campfires, mix in some azalea leaves, another campfire, maybe a trapdoor right here. I mixed all of these up because I was running low on the resources, but I really like how the end result looks like. And then don't forget to turn off all of your campfires. I'm just using a shovel for this. And there we go, this is how mine looks like. It's just a mix of each one. And then as a final touch, I'm gonna get rid of this fence gate right here and extend that leaf a little bit like this. If you have any leaves that you place on the edges like this, I would just get rid of the fence gate underneath and extend that a little bit like this. Then right here in the corner, I do want to create a little bit of some leaves running down. So I'm gonna get rid of this trapdoor that I placed and just place some leaves and extend that a little bit down, just so it looks like it's growing a little bit. Then here in the corner, since it is meant for a horse, I'm just gonna place some Haybales, just a couple of them. It doesn't have to be like too many. And then I'm gonna grab some campfires and place those just messily around, and then turn those off. Now here at the top, I'm gonna do that same thing we did earlier. So an open fence gate right here, and then a trapdoor on the top. Now over here at the back, I'm gonna start off by making some plants. So right here in the middle of the window, I'm gonna place some grass right here, then cover that up with a trapdoor. And then on each side, I'm gonna place an upside down stair just like this. Then right in front of the window, I'm gonna place 2 fences going up. On top of those fences, I'm gonna place a trapdoor on each one of them, and then a slab right here in the middle. Now I'm gonna do that same setup on this side. So same thing, grass, trapdoor, upside down stair on each side, 2 fences on the top, a trapdoor on either side, and then a slab right here in the middle. And then again, you can place any flowers that you like. I'm just gonna place some of my favorite ones. So this part is all done. I'm gonna move on top of here. I'm gonna create a chimney, and this can be in whichever part you like. I just feel like this part is a little bit empty, so I'm gonna place it right here. So I'm leaving 3 stone stairs, and then I'm just gonna place a brick right here. Now I'm gonna go up by 3, so 1, 2, 3. And then a stair facing outward like this, and upside down stair right behind that one, and then 2 blocks on top of the stair, so 1, 2, and then I can place my campfire. Now I'm just gonna surround that with some trapdoors, so just like this. I actually forgot to mention in the block list, I'm gonna be using just a single brick wall just to make a vent hood like this and a trapdoor here on the top. You can leave it out if you like, it's the same thing whether you have it or not. So there we go, that's the chimney all done. Then over here on these windows, I'm gonna create that same shutter that we have. So all of these can have a open fence gate with a trapdoor here on the top. I'm just gonna do that with all of these. So just like this. And then this top one as well, so you don't forget. And there we go, that should be all done. Now for some final details, I'm gonna grab some azalea leaves and some lanterns, and I'm gonna show you where I place the lanterns first. I'm gonna place a lantern right here in the middle, and then that same place right here at the top, just like this. Then right here at the side of the house, I'm just gonna place a lantern inside the horse stable. So this can be anywhere, I'm just gonna place it right here. Here at the top, I'm gonna place a fence right here in the middle and a lantern hanging on. And then finally, on the bottom of these stairs right here, just another lantern on each side. So there we go. This is how this side looks like. For this back area, I'm just gonna place some leaves on top of the roof. So I'm gonna grab my favorite leaves and just make some vines going all the way down and maybe trickle down over here. And once I'm happy with the shape of it, I'm just gonna go ahead and replace them with the flowering azaleas just to add a little bit more color. So there we go. Now for the tower itself, I'm just gonna place a fence right here in the corner and a lantern hanging off. I'm also gonna do the same thing for this corner. And then also on the bottom part of these stairs, just to add a little bit more light. So there we go. This is how that part looks like. And then right here at the front, I'm also gonna create some more leaves just to fill in this blank area right here. So same thing as I did for the backside, just some random shapes and maybe trickle down a little bit more over here. So once I'm happy with that shape, I'm gonna replace them with the flowering azaleas. And with that, I think that's the outside all done. Now for the inside, I'm gonna start off by replacing the entire floor first, and I'm just gonna be using some spruce planks. It's not gonna be anything too fancy, so I'll just replace this entire floor with some spruce planks, and I'll be back when that's done. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fix the roof. So first off, I'm gonna grab some stone brick stairs, and then right above this beam right here, I'm gonna place some upside down stairs all the way across, just like this, and then some on top just to cover this brick area, so just like this. And we can do that same thing on the other side. So all of this can be just stairs, and then this side as well. Over here on the top, I'm just gonna leave a 1 block space. So I'm gonna leave this one just blank, and then I'm gonna place some upside down stairs right up against these blocks right here. So all the way across, just like this. And then same thing on the other side. So right up against these corners right here. Now I'm gonna create a beam going across the whole thing. So I'm gonna place some torches first, just in case anything spawns. And then right next where we place the stairs, so right here, I'm just gonna pull this beam all the way across until I reach right here, just before the edge of the tower right here. Now I'm gonna connect these 2 pillars across. So this top log just all the way across, like this. And now I'm just gonna place some stairs going all the way around. So just like this. And creating a little corner. And there we go. Now for this little corner, I'm just gonna blend it out a little bit more. So I'm gonna place some upside down stairs on each corner, then a trapdoor below that, and then also a trapdoor right here in the middle. Now for this beam right here in the middle, I'm also gonna place a upside down stair right here, then a trapdoor on either side. Now I'm gonna leave a 1 block space from the trapdoor, and then on this one, I'm just gonna replace this log with a barrel. So a barrel right here on its side. Then I'm gonna count 3 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one is just gonna be also a barrel. So just like this. When I was building this, I was really running low on iron, so I only placed this chain on one of these. So I placed a chain on this side and a lantern, and then this one just had like a regular lantern just like this. I like how the messy feel looks, but you can really just go ahead and just place 2 lanterns. Or if you have the iron for it, you can place 2 chains and then a lantern like this. Then I'm gonna fix this entrance area. So I'm gonna place 2 upside down stairs on each corner just to cover that log up. And then in between those, I'm just gonna place a trapdoor right here. Then I'm gonna leave a 1 block space and then place 2 upside down stairs facing inward like this, and then a trapdoor right in the middle just to make a shelf. Now for this area, this is where I had the loft with the bed. So to make the loft, I'm just gonna count from the wall. I'm gonna count 3 blocks, so 1, 2, 3, and then a half a block just to create a top slab. So 1, 2, 3 and a half blocks, just like this. It should be right below these logs right here. So I'm just gonna extend this slab by 3, so 1, 2, 3, and fill that in all the way across. So all of this can just be 3 blocks wide. Now to make the way up, I'm gonna replace this slab right here with an upside down stair facing outward just so it connects like this. And then to create the space for the ladder, I'm just gonna place some trapdoors right up against this stair right here. So 1, 2, 3, and then flip those open just like this. And then this is where you place the ladder. So you crouch and just place some of the ladders like this. Then over here on the top, I'm gonna place a fence right here in the corner. Then leave this space open for the ladder, and then place another fence. 3 fence gates in the middle, and then a final fence right here in the corner. To face this area where that window is, I'm gonna get rid of these 3 stairs right here, and these 2 blocks as well, just to replace them with some upside down stairs, just like this. And then finally, I'm gonna place a trapdoor just between these 2 stairs right here. And the final thing I think is just to replace these logs right here with some barrels just to match the rest of the house. And with that, I think we just fixed all the inside so we can start decorating. So I'm gonna start right here in the entrance. I really like using ender chests, so this is where I place my ender chest right here in the corner. I'm gonna crouch and place a lantern right here in the middle. And then finally, I just had some campfires for decoration, so just like this. Now for the little brewing station that I had, I'm gonna create the little table that I had first. So I'm gonna place right on this corner and upside down stair. Right beside this barrel right here, I'm gonna place another upside down stair and then connect that with some trapdoors just like this, and make sure you crouch by the way. And then right up against this window right here, I'm just gonna place 2 trapdoors right here. And this is where I'm gonna place a chest where I keep all my brewing things and a stone cutter because I tend to use that one a lot. Then right here, this is where I had 3 brewing stands like this. And then right here in the bottom, I had a crafting table just to have easy access to one. And just for some decoration, I placed a plant pot with a mushroom. Now for this part of the tower, I had a little furnace area. So right here at the bottom, I'm gonna place 3 furnaces and then 4 blast furnaces on either side, just like this. Then on top of the blast furnaces, I'm gonna place 3 barrels on top. And then right under this barrel, I'm gonna crouch and place a trapdoor. Now here I just had some decorations. I placed my anvil right here, a plant pot with a cherry blossom tree, and then you have to place a dragon egg, but this is where I placed the dragon in my survival world. Then over here at the top, right beside the window, I'm gonna place 2 stairs on either side and then a trapdoor in the middle. And then I just placed a lantern and some leaves just to add a little bit more greenery. So just like this. And with that, that's this corner all done. Now over here is where I had those chests. So right in front of the window, I'm gonna place 3 double chests. So 1 right here, 1 right here, and the final one like this. And I'm just gonna surround that with trapdoors. So I'm gonna crouch and then jump in place at the same time. So just like this. And then over here in the corner as well. And then 2 trapdoors here at the top. There we go, we have a little storage area. Now right here in the middle of the wall, I had a plant pot, and you can use the regular big pots like this one. But what I did in survival is I had some of the shards left over. So I think that one is a heart, and this is how you made the heart. So it looks like this. And then I had another one, which is a creeper one. So this is how the creeper looks like. And then there's a bunch of these that you can use. So I used the heart party shirt and then the danger party shirt. Again, you can skip this part if you like, but I think it adds a little bit more detail. So I'm just gonna place my pot right here, a flower pot on top. Then inside of that, I'm gonna place an azalea leaf and then a leaf on top. And then same thing here in front of the window. So my big pot right here, a flower pot on top, then an azalea leaf and then a leaf. Just like this. So over here is where I had the little kitchen area. So I'm gonna start right here, right beside the pot that we placed. I'm gonna place 3 barrels just like this. And then on the 3rd barrel, I'm gonna extend those over here. This corner, I'm just gonna place a regular plank just because you can't really access it. And then place another barrel right here. Then in the corner, I'm gonna place a trapdoor just like this. So we can place a pot with an azalea tree. And then to create the countertop that we had, I'm gonna place an upside down stair right here. Right in front of the window, I had a cauldron with some water. Then in the corner, I'm gonna place 2 slabs like this. Then 2 smokers just to complete the rest of the counter. And then just to decorate, I'm gonna grab a loom. And then with a white banner, I'm gonna grab some red dye. And I'm gonna look for this stripe pattern. And this is gonna be a little towel that I'm gonna hang right here. I'm gonna crouch and then place it. And make sure you crouch, otherwise you just take off the pattern from the banner. And then for some decoration, I'm just gonna place a cake on top of this smoker. A lantern right here in the corner. And then you can only do this on Java. But I'm gonna place an item frame with a carrot. And then on this same block, I'm gonna place a oak pressure plate just to create a little cutting board with a carrot on top. And then right here at the bottom, I'm gonna replace this one with a crafting table, just because I like to have access to a crafting table at all times. And then right here in the middle, I'm gonna make a little table. It's gonna be a 3-block wide table. So I'm gonna go off by this plant pot that we have right here. I'm gonna leave a 2-block gap and then place an upside down stair right here. But for that, I'm gonna place it right behind it, a temporary block, just so we can place the upside down stair. Then you can get rid of that. So it's just a 2-block gap right in front of the plant pot. Then we can place a trapdoor right here in the middle. Then again, I'm gonna place an upside down stair. But first, I'm gonna place a temporary block and then the upside down stair. And then just to decorate this, I'm gonna place a lantern right here in the middle, a plant pot with a flower, and then over here I just had one of my favorite music discs, and there we go. And then for some decoration, I'm gonna place some carpet right here in front of the furnaces. This can be any color carpet, I just like pink. And then this middle one, I'm gonna get rid of the block underneath and replace it with a torch, and then place back the carpet just like this. And over here as well, I actually had a spruce pressure plate in front of my door, and then right in front of the pressure plate I'm gonna place 3 pieces of carpet just like this. And then this one, I'm gonna get rid of the block underneath, place a torch, and then place back the carpet just like this. And there we go, that's this bottom area all done. Now the only thing left is the top right here. So right here at the top, I'm gonna place 2 barrels right here underneath those stairs. Then this is where I had my bed, and then I'm gonna crouch and place a sign on the edge of the bed right here. And then in this little corner, I'm gonna place an armor stand, and then I just had some armor that I don't use, so I'm just gonna place those right there. And then right here is a perfect place for some carpet, so 3 carpet just like this. Now finally, I just had some paintings dotted around the place, so I'm gonna grab a block just to block it off. I'm gonna place one right here in the middle, and then I'm gonna place another painting right here. I'm gonna block it up first, and then just place some until I have one that I like. There we go. Then down here, I also had a painting right above this brewing stand, so I'm gonna block that off, and then place a painting. There we go. Then on this side, I'm leaving a 1 block space from the barrel. So right here, I'm gonna block this off and then just place a painting. There we go. And then one right here on the same level as these barrels, so I'm gonna block that off. And there we go. And with that, that's the inside all complete. All that's left is the basement that I have over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So right here in front of the window, I'm gonna get rid of this block, and I'm gonna dig down 5 blocks. So this one being 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, just like this. And then from this corner, it's gonna be a 6x6 room. So this one is 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then on the other side, so 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm just gonna get rid of all of this, including the ones on top, just below the floor that we have. So I'm gonna get rid of all of this. Now for the floor, I'm gonna get rid of all of this and replace it with some spruce planks. So I'll be back when this is all done. So I just replaced the floor. Now I'm gonna replace all the walls. I'm gonna be using some stone bricks and then some cracked stone bricks just mixed in between. So all of this is just going to be stone bricks. This block right here, I'm gonna get rid of this one. This is part of the guide. And then I'm gonna replace that with some planks. And then these 2, I actually replaced those with some upside down stairs. And then you can also get rid of this one. It will probably be dirt for you, but I'm just gonna replace it with some planks. So again, I'm gonna replace all the walls and then just mix in some cracked stone bricks. It doesn't have to be too many. I know I was running low on resources when I was doing this, so I'm just gonna do a couple of them on each wall. So I was making this final wall right here. Then I noticed I broke the torch that I had. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace that again. It should be the torch right here in the entrance. So I'm just gonna place that back and cover that up. By the way, here in the corners where I placed the ladder, so I'm just gonna place some right here. And then on the top, this is optional, but I like to cover it up with a trapdoor. And that's all the walls all done. Now I'm gonna create some details here on the roof. I'm gonna base this off from the ladder. So right in front of the ladder, I'm gonna place a stair right here in the corner, and then 2 trapdoors on either side. Then same thing on the other side. So upside down stair and then a trapdoor on either side. And then I'm just gonna mirror that right here. So on the same wall as the ladder, I'm gonna place a stair right here, and then 2 trapdoors, just like this. First, right here next to the ladder, I'm gonna create that little storage area that we had. So I'm gonna get rid of these 4 blocks right here, then get rid of all of this because we're gonna replace it. These 2 middle ones, I'm gonna replace them with some planks just to cover the floor. Then I'm gonna create some pillars using a barrel on each side, and then the rest of it can just be regular blocks just like this. I'm gonna place 2 upside down stairs right here at the top, and then all of this I'm gonna replace it with some stone bricks, so just like this, and then also mix in some of the cracked. And now for this little gap, I'm just gonna place all of the stairs right here, and there we go. That's the little storage area that I had. Over on this side, this is where I had the villager. I'm gonna get rid of these 2 blocks right here in the middle, so 2 blocks on each side and all the way up to the ceiling. And then right here I'm gonna place some upside down stairs just like this. Now I'm also going to replace this layer of dirt right here, and I'm just going to place my floor right here. So this part on the right, I'm going to cover that up with some bricks and then mix in some of the cracked stone bricks as well. And then this little area is where the villager was. So I'm going to place an upside down stair right here, and then all of this dirt that we see, I'm going to replace it with some bricks and maybe replace this one with some cracked. I'm gonna place the lectern right here, and this is where I had my mending villager. What I did in survival was drop him from above right there. You can kind of see I had to get rid of the little planters that we had just to make some room. But yeah, it was just a lot easier to drop him from the outside than from the inside. So I'm just gonna place that right there. Then over on this side, I had a crafting table. Then I'm gonna place a trapdoor right here, just so I can have an ender chest right here. Now in this main area is where I had the enchantment table. So I just went right here in the corner, and I'm gonna place 4 right here at the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just over here. Then another 4 this way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like this. And then 1 right here in the corner. Right here in the middle is where I had the enchantment table, so right there. And just to reach level 30, I'm gonna place 3 more bookshelves right here on this side, another 3 right here, and then these final ones I think were just for decoration. So I'm gonna get rid of this trapdoor and place 2 bookshelves right here. And then I like to use looms to create like empty bookshelves. So you kind of have to angle this a little bit and just place it like this. And now I'm gonna go ahead and decorate it. So right here I had a chest. This is where I placed all my lapis and stuff. And then on top of here, I'm just gonna place 2 oak slabs just like this. On top of the loom, I'm gonna crouch and then place a flower pot with an azalea tree. Whoops. There we go. Then over here in the corner, I'm gonna place another slab and then a grindstone just in case. And then this is really optional. I had a chiseled bookshelf, and then I just placed some of the enchanted books that I had. And then I just decorated that with a flower pot and then a daisy. And just to light it up a little bit, I'm gonna go right on top of the enchantment table, and then straight above, I'm gonna place a lantern. And then first and final decoration, I'm gonna place the netherwort farm that I have right here. So it's just a piece of soul sand with some netherwort, and then I'm gonna surround that with some trapdoors just like this. Then over here I had a hanging plant, so just a chain. And then on this block, I'm gonna place a flower pot like this. And then this can be any plant that you like. I'm just gonna place a spruce sapling like this. And then finally, I just had a little bit of carpet right here. So I'm gonna create an L shape. So from this bookshelf right here, I'm gonna leave a 1 block gap, then place 2, and then 1, 2 like this. And then for this, you can really just pick which one you want to have a torch underneath. So I'm gonna pick that one in the corner, and then this one. This is enough lighting, by the way. I never had any mouse spawn inside. But yeah, I think with that, that's the entire house all done. So from the inside, this is how it looks like. Of course, you can place your horse right here. I just didn't have a horse. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy making this house. So again, I made this one for my survival series. So it's really catered towards my way of gameplay. But I did have a couple comments asking on how I did it. So hopefully you enjoy this tutorial. And in case you want to download this world, I'm going to leave it down in the description. It's called the Super Flat World Download. And you have this build, of course, but you also get all the other ones as well. So yeah, I'll leave that in the description in case you want to check it out. But yeah, that's it from me. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.